In the days leading up to the general election on November 5th, we're interviewing the candidates in each race. This time, we focus on the 7th Congressional District, which includes Owasso, St. Johns, Shiawassee County, a portion of Genesee County, and Lansing. Tom Barrett is the Republican candidate in this race. Mr. Barrett, thank you so much for joining us.
Stella, thank you for having me. I appreciate you having me on today.
Well, we're very, very close to November 5th. And what would you like the voters to know about you?
Sure. And again, thank you so much for having me on. My background, I joined the Army as a teenager. My senior year of high school, signed my contract, took the very first airplane ride of my life to basic training right after I graduated. And really serving in the Army was the greatest adventure of my life. I ended up serving for 22 years. I was a young private over in South Korea when 9/11 happened. I returned back to Michigan and then deployed to Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, did a deployment in Iraq, then was selected to go to flight school and learn to fly some of the most amazing helicopters in the world. And after I returned home from flight training, I saw that so many of the battle buddies I served with were struggling to find opportunities in Michigan. I decided to run for office, got elected, became the first, or rather the only Iraq War veteran in the Michigan House of Representatives, and then later the only Iraq War veteran in the Michigan Senate. And I want to take that same spirit to Washington, D.C., represent the families like mine that really aren't having their voices heard today in Washington.
Well, we certainly appreciate your service. And as we get into this discussion, what do you think are the two most pressing issues in your district and or Michigan as a whole?
Yeah, well, as I listen to people in my district where I'm running, and families like mine, my wife and I are raising 4 kids of our own right here in the district where I'm running, right in mid-Michigan, and we hear about the cost of living, whether that's inflation or groceries or housing or the other runaway costs of living that families have really been challenged by. And from there, the other biggest issue I hear about is the southern border. We've had a wide open border, more than 10 million illegal border crossings just in the last few years alone. That has really put a strain on our national security posture, certainly our social welfare ability to deal with that problem, our national security threats and other things. So really those two together are the two biggest issues that I hear the most about as I'm traveling about the district, and what we hear in the polling that we've done as well. Those two really come to the forefront of issues that are most challenging to families today.
That appears to be a common theme. And another issue that is coming to the surface is bipartisanship. This election has been very interesting to see play out. Do you believe in bipartisanship, and how will you accomplish that?
Yeah, absolutely. And each one of us are, responsible for how we conduct ourselves and our own behavior. I told you about when I came home from the Army and served in the state legislature. I had 38 different bipartisan bills that I sponsored that were signed into law with overwhelming bipartisan support, many of which helped veterans. Others did issues to tackle domestic violence challenges that we have in our state and human trafficking challenges, tax policy. So I really tried my best, and frankly, some of my bills were signed by Governor Rick Snyder, our Republican past governor. Others were signed by Governor Gretchen Whitmer, a Democrat. So I really tried my best. I'm a conservative. I'm somebody who believes in, the issues that I believe in, but I'm willing to work with anyone and accomplish the job that we have to do to really carry out the business of the people. And I take the job very seriously. It says representative in Congress is the title of the job, and I take that very seriously, and I want to do my best for my constituents.
Well, thank you for being here. Thank you for the information. I'm sure the voters will find it very helpful. Tom Barrett, thank you. Good luck to you. 7th Congressional District, Republican candidate in the race.
Thank you for having me.